Hello and welcome to Group 14's presentation on connecting the Pacific Northwest.
The topic of high-speed rails has caught the attention of our group, and we wanted to conduct some research on why a high-speed rail that connects Oregon and Washington would be a great idea. Our group evaluated other existing high-speed rails in the United States, the current rail system in place, and pros and cons of a high-speed rail. Finally, we interviewed two students to find their opinion on a high-speed rail in the Pacific Northwest. Currently, in Oregon and the Pacific Northwest, there is no high-speed rail systems in place, which means the fastest way to get from city to city is either by car or by plane, which, as we all may know, can become a challenge when going long distances depending on the time of the year. Some might say there's Amtrak's Cascade train that runs from Eugene to the border of Canada, but only has a top speed of roughly 80 miles per hour along with multiple stops. And as it is right now, it would take someone over 6 hours to travel from Albany, Oregon to Seattle, Washington on this train, which is almost 2 hours longer than it would take to drive a car. This not only pushes people away from using the train system, but also leads to inefficiencies in the transportation system. As for the rest of the United States, there is only one up and running high speed rail, which is Amtrak's Acelia train that runs from Washington, D.C. to the New England area. This train has 13 stops, including Baltimore, New York, and has a top speed of around 150 miles per hour. It should be noted that a high speed rail is generally a train that can go upwards of 120 miles per hour. The U.S. Department of Transportation has been planning on putting high speed rails across the United States since the early 1990s, but as we have learned, there is an enormous amount of cost and time to go along with these types of projects.
Improving quality of life. As housing prices within cities have continued to rise over the past decade, many individuals have moved into suburbs, settling for a longer commute. Through some of the research our group conducted, a high-speed rail can reduce a 90-minute commute into a 15-minute commute. This can improve one's quality of life by removing the stress of a daily congested commute. The next benefit is tourism. The Pacific Northwest has recently become a popular travel destination for outdoor enthusiasts. Seattle brings in an annual tourist population of around 39 million, and Portland has an annual tourist population around 9 million. Tourists is a great way to generate local tax revenue, and with a high-speed rail network in place, more people will be able to travel easily around the Pacific Northwest.
A high-speed rail can also be beneficial towards the environment. Transportation is the cause for the largest portion of pollution in the Pacific Northwest, with driving and flying accounting for over 60% of the emissions. Historically, global high-speed rail projects have led to about a 50% decrease in air travel and 40% decrease in car travel. Since high-speed rail has been shown to be around 9 times more efficient than car and plane travel, this transition of transportation away from cars and planes will significantly lower carbon emissions. The economy will also be greatly affected by the addition of a high-speed rail. The Cascadia corridor contains 13 of the Fortune 500 companies, so providing quick access to these urban hubs allows for future economic growth. According to the Washington Department of Transportation, a Cascadia high-speed rail would create 200,000 jobs just for construction, operation, and maintenance of the rail. Additionally, around 4.2 jobs are generated for every job gained directly in the rail sector. The rail would thus contribute around $355 billion in economic growth with an upfront cost of $24 to $42 billion. If the option of adding an extra lane along Interstate 5 was implemented instead, the estimated cost would be $108 billion. Other short local light rail systems are in place around the Pacific Northwest, such as the TriMet Max system in Portland, which can supplement high-speed rail. This allows quick local travel between many stops in the Portland metro area, such as the airport and the Rose Quarter. Additionally, other forms of public transportation, such as buses, can take away from the need for personal vehicle travel altogether when combined with long-distance high-speed rail.
Cons of a high-speed rail system. Once you travel to your selected destination, you will have to rely on public transportation or services like Uber to travel around. The timetable of construction can also be another challenge. With high-speed rails, construction can take several years or even decades. Our research found that in California, their construction of their high-speed rail started in 2008 and is currently estimated to be completed in 2029. As previously mentioned in the presentation, high-speed rails come with a huge upfront cost. Both states of Oregon and Washington would need approval by their state's voters, which can also be a huge challenge as well.
What do you think of the idea of building a high-speed rail connecting Oregon and Seattle?
I think that would be sick. I mean, I'm trying to find ways to get to Seahawks football games. So yeah, that'd be tight. Go Hawks.
As an Oregon State student, would a high-speed rail along the I-5 corridor benefit you in any way?
So as someone who actually lives in Seattle, commuting to Oregon State, having a high-speed rail would speed up my commute by a lot. So that's something that'd be very beneficial for people like me.
Awesome, thank you.
After considering the pros and cons, along with public opinion, our group still finds it to be a great idea to implement a high-speed rail in the Pacific Northwest. Thank you for listening to our presentation. Here is the list of references used for our research.